Hello, boys and girls. You are listening to, if you're on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, and on Tumblr, and watching if you're at the Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling YouTube page, Peter Talks Smackdown, fresh from the episode 55 of the Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling podcast, where we reviewed Raw from Baltimore. It's me and my homie Jake. If you haven't watched it yet or listened to our review, it's funny as shit. Go back one episode. Just go back one episode on either of the formats I said earlier and check it out. And if you're also curious about the New Day podcast, which is me and Nathan Newman from Eyes on the Ring podcast, part of the Elite Network, go back 2 videos or episodes back. And we're just talking about the news in the wrestling world. We talk about that episode, which I think was episode 9 of the New Day podcast. We talk about the shooting at the Development Center. We talk about Hulk Hogan at on Good Morning America, and I think we even talk about the what the hell else we talk about? I think we talk about that Zara chick that just got kicked off NXT for posting like Nazi unicorns. I think that's about it. But either way, you're listening and watching Peter Talks Smackdown. Right now it is Friday night. It's been a hectic week at my job, and now I gotta go DJ. If anything, so the process is gonna take longer for me to take care of before I have to go off to DJ. So you're probably watching this Saturday. And if you are watching or listening, thank you for your patience. I wish it wasn't as hectic as a week or as a day has it been. But you're getting your weekly source of your SmackDown review from this fellow right here. So let's go right into SmackDown, because I'm on limited time. I'm going to try to get through this as fast as possible, but I still want to talk my shit. SmackDown is from Mohegan Sun Arena. Now, they were there not too long ago. I feel like Mohegan Sun Arena is like one of those places that they're kind of ashamed of, but they keep going back to because it's not really a city or big place that it is. I had to actually do some research. Last time I was like, I don't know, it's at this place. Now I'm just like, fuck this, I have to know where it is. So Mohegan Sun, it's like 2 of them. There's one in Connecticut, and then there's one in at the Casey Plaza is what it's called. Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. Oh yeah, Wilkes-Barre, PA, and it's the home of the Scranton and Philadelphia Pittsburgh Penguins. Sorry about that. And it's a major concert venue as well. I think last time they did it, they said it was there. This time, they didn't even say that they were at a place at all. Because normally at the beginning of the show, they put like where the fuck they at. Like last week, they were in Miami. They were like, hey, we're in Miami, fucking Florida. And this time, they was just like, we're just at this place. And I guess they don't feel like explaining where they are, or it's not best for business to say that you're in a place called Mohegan Sun Arena in Wilkes-Barre, like Wilkes/Barre, Pennsylvania. It's kind of fucked up. You got to rep, you know what I'm saying? No one cares. We want to know where it is, especially if you're doing reviews. Shit. But yeah, man, this show on the commentator's booth is Rich Brennan, Jerry the King Lawler, and the return of Booker T. Now, I'm not sure where he's been. I guess he's probably been taking care of his own promotion. But it's normally with Jimmy Uso. But that night, he was in a three-man tag with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose against... Who the fuck was he against? What the fuck? Let me see. Because I just finished watching. I should be ashamed of myself. The New Day. And basically, since they beat the shit out of Randy Orton, the Wyatt family, that is, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose was looking for an equalizer for the Night of Champions when they go up against all three members of the Wyatt family. So they called on Jimmy Uso. The Uso brothers been out for a while. I guess Jimmy's still good. Jay's fucked up, so I guess he was good to wrestle. So he entered into this. But we will get to that match. First off, we get the Wyatt family. And it's basically a shoot on both Reigns and Ambrose. And he's trying to play some mind games with his promo. He shoots on Reigns first. And he talks about how, he's talking to the crowd. And he's basically telling the crowd that this guy gives two shits about you. And he's never given two shits about you, and you all want him to have the championship, but once he gets the championship, he's gonna basically demand you guys to fall to your knees and suck his dick and shit of that nature, like sheep. And then he shoots on Ambrose, he's clowning the idea that he's his loyalty to his brotherhood to Roman Reigns and not to trust him, and that you're being manipulated by him, and you stand by his side as he is your king, and you are his servant, sort of shit. So he's trying to play the mind games with Dean Ambrose. I mean, I wouldn't imagine if he's trying to recruit the motherfucker, but he's really trying to show the hierarchy or the patriarch of that actual tag team and friendship that they have. We see this happening with the Sting, Triple H, Seth Rollins feud. So I don't know why they need to sort of like have two. He's this sort of manipulative storyline going on. I think it's kind of lazy booking, but nevertheless, they talk about what they did to Orton. They actually show it on the big screen, and apparently Orton, that was a way to write Orton off TV for a while. So, and then they threatened Jimmy Uso for, wanted to step up to the plate. And then Braun says they all fall down. And I guess that's the new thing. That's the new slogan and run. The first match, we get Cesaro versus The Miz. There are still some Cesaro section signs in the arena. Again, they're going to be gone very soon. Maybe. The way he's been booked recently kind of sucks. But I'm not going to get worked up about it. Cesaro versus The Miz. And last Monday, who did he face? He faced The Miz Monday, and he didn't. Did he have his ribs taped up? I'm thinking that he had his ribs taped. I'm thinking he didn't have his ribs taped up. He had his ribs taped up the Thursday Smackdown last week, but on Monday he didn't have his ribs taped up. But tonight, he has his ribs taped up. And this is, I say this, and this is from the last time I reviewed this match. This was on the Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling podcast, episode 55. Is that this is a good match between two people who are extremely good at what they do. Miz is he is the best heel on the roster, on the main roster right now. No one's coming close, not even Kevin Owens. He's the best at generating heel heat, and he's cut differently from the rest, that he really works an old school style, and it really shows in this match. Cesaro, on the other hand, athleticism, his strength, his reverses, and this match itself was like Cesaro's how to reverse a move 101. It was pretty fucking sick. And The Miz, being that like he knows what he's doing in there, not only generating heel heat, but he's attacking the ribs. If this was like somebody new or something, they would go for the leg and for the arm. If you've seen this, I'm not bullshitting. They'll go for everything else, the earlobe. They'll go for a fucking knee, whatever. They wouldn't have attacked the ribs. And Miz attacked those ribs basically the entire match. And it's like, thank you, Miz. And it's funny that I'm giving praises to the Miz. But I'll say this one more time and I won't say it again. The Miz is the best heel and probably one of the most classic workers on the main roster. If you do not agree, send me a tweet to PJTW Central or leave a comment below. I'm telling you, give me one other person that works as well as him as a heel. There's a spot where Cesaro does a standing drop kick to the Miz, sitting on the top buckle that looks Okada-like. This is a new move in his repertoire as of late. It's fucking beautiful. It's just beautiful. And again, this just goes to show the agility and the athleticism that Cesaro has. And then after that, when the momentum switches back to Miz, he goes right back to the ribs. There's a spot where Cesaro reverses a leg squeeze. Like the Miz is sitting behind him, and he has his legs, and he's squeezing on the ribs. And he somehow turned that sumbitch around. Turns him into where like he has him in the rampage. He lifts him up for a fucking suplex. Beautiful. Reversal 101, man. This guy can reverse out of anything. And then he attempts the big swing, but the Miz kicks the ribs, and then he kicks the knee to attempt a figure four leg lock, which gets reversed into a small package. And then as like the Miz then kicks him in the face, it kicks him in the face again, and as he goes for the third kick to the face, he grabs the legs, reverses, drops him, turns him over, reverses it into a sharpshooter, where the Miz taps out. Now, if you've been keeping up with Cesaro and his victories, he's only really been getting victories on SmackDown, and I think the last memorable victory I remember him getting is against Rusev, and he's been in this feud with Kevin Owens, and he didn't get a single win each time. There was 3 matches. One of the matches was on SmackDown after the whole Machine Gun Kelly gate, where Kevin Owens tossed his ass on top of a table off the ramp. Cesaro steps up, faces him in a match, and loses. And then they rehashed the feud between the two, but they never brought up that he lost that match. So he lost at I think he lost on Raw. No. He lost at Night of Champions. He lost. I apologize. Not Night of Champions. He lost at SummerSlam. Then he loses on Raw clean again, and then he just hasn't been winning. I think who else he fucking lose to? He's just a loser anyway. And then he faced the Miz last week. It was a count out. He got the victory, but it was a count out. But then he gets knocked out by the Big Show. And now he's actually given the victory. He made the Miz tap out. Now, again, this is what Nathan and Keita teases me about, the fact that if it happens on SmackDown, it doesn't exist. And we know this to be true because I just explained to you how Kevin Owens beat him. It was never brought up ever again. So maybe, unless they're going to put legs on this feud, I don't mind it. Again, they're two of the best at what they do. But I wonder if they're going to mention the fact that Cesaro has this win on him on SmackDown. I don't want to believe that that's going to happen, but I think that's what's going to happen. But then he sells the ribs as he's celebrating, and that's that match. You get Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose in the back with Renee Young, and they're basically talking about their upcoming match that evening against the New Day. And the fact that I think it was like Renee asked, well, whose idea was it to get Jimmy Uso? And Reigns was like, it's Ambrose. I wouldn't invite him. I don't want to get any more family members involved. Just in case you forgot, Bray Wyatt was acting like he was going after Roman Reigns' daughter. I thought they had left that alone, but I guess it's still in storyline to a certain degree. He was scripted to say it, so we're to remember, what do you mean by anymore? If you're smart, you did forget it because it wasn't worth, your hard drive of your brain. I remember it because I'm an idiot. And Dean Ambrose is pretty stoked. He's going into happy dude. Oh, I'm pumped. We're pumped. Oh, he's pumped. We're great. Let's go. He kicks ass. We kick ass. Ah. And then Jimmy Uso shows up. It's like, oh, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Ooh, so. And then Dean Ambrose, ooh, so. And then Roman Reigns shakes his head and walks away. And they all walk off camera. Paige with Lynch and Flair versus Sasha Banks. And this is the rematch from last Monday, where Banks gets the distraction roll-up from Team Bad running into the ring to distract the ref for Sasha Banks to get the roll-up. The week prior, the Beat the Clock Challenge, Tamina and Naomi snatches Sasha Banks out. So this is the third match between the two. And I'll make this quick. At first, there's a scuffle amongst the two factions. The referee throws out both of the rest of the factions. So Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair and Tamina and Naomi are basically forced to not stand by ringside. They sent their asses to the back. Paige delivers a kick to the face to Sasha Banks that looked pretty ugly. And I don't know if it was a shoot or what, but Banks sold it like $1 million. And then Banks returns the receipt with a nice little smack, which results in Paige selling the fact that she's gotten hit, and she's like, oh. Now, I don't know if she's playing possum or was this a shoot. I mean, I guess that's the drama that's going on in this feud right now. But the commentator said she was playing possum because as the ref, this ref sucks, by the way. I'm going to put that out there. This ref fucking sucks. He's done this before. Like, he doesn't give the heel any heat. And he doesn't allow he doesn't allow the heels get heat, and he doesn't allow the babyface. He allows the babyface to basically like do whatever they want. So never mind. After she plays possum per se, she spears the fuck out of Sasha Banks, and a brawl ensues. Another ref runs out, and then PCB run out, and then Team Bad runs out, and this is basically a Divas version of the Brock Lesnar Undertaker brawl that happened on Raw the night after SummerSlam. This is not SummerSlam, but the night after, I think this was Battleground. The night after Battleground, when that big brawl ensued, and they had all the refs and all the faces and the heels out to break that shit up. That's what this was. A smaller scale, Divas division styled Brock Lesnar Undertaker brawl. And all I could think was, what the fuck? And plus, this feud is kind of pointless. No, I mean, I understand this this Divas Revolution is giving the Divas a second segment, and which I'm not really a fan of. I want to see one Diva segment, and I want that Diva segment to be involved with the belt. And at this time, it's about Charlotte and Nikki. But it's not about Charlotte and Nikki. It's about also about Banks and Paige, which I find to be quite insignificant. They do a recap of Cena and the Primetime Players versus the New Day and Seth Rollins, and then Sting destroying the statue. Rollins in the back with Byron Saxton, and he talks about what happened last Monday. Then he shoots on Sting, and he shoots on the loss of his statue. He talks about the lumberjack match he has coming up with Ryback that night. Sheamus shows up. He's like, I'm going to cash in. I'm not sure, but it's tempting to do it on Night of Champions. You get the New Day versus Roman Reigns and Ambrose with Jimmy Uso. And I kind of tuned it out. Even though I'm kind of paying attention to the New Day, I tune out to a certain degree because it's nothing that Ambrose and Reigns, Mr. Kick, Punch, Slap, Punch, Kick, is going to do that's going to draw my attention. I do tune back in at some point, and Jimmy Uso gets a pretty decent hot tag, but then he's hip tossed. It's pretty brutal. Hip tossed outside the ring onto his ass by Big E Langston. That's a momentum shift. They start doing the New Day stomps when they tag each other, and they stomp, 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 tag, stomp, stomp, stomp. Fucking oh boy, the greatest gimmick of all time. Prop gimmick, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Xavier Woods grabs that damn trombone, and he starts doing he starts playing it as Big E and Kofi Kingston are stomping a mud hole in Jimmy Uso. What happens? I tune out again. I guess after a Reigns hot tag, I just tune out. But it looks like Woods gets the best of him at some point. And he looks like he's about to go for that sort of rolling thing he does, which you haven't seen in probably a year. He catches a Superman punch midair after rolling and jumping. Boom, Superman punch. It looked pretty good. And he tags in Jimmy Uso, who's about to go for the frog splash. But as soon as he goes for the frog splash, right? Place goes black. Next thing you know, and I wonder how the fuck they did that. I mean, I guess for TV they could edit, but live it had to look real weird. They must have had to like run in there, scoop them up while Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns act like they're dead on the floor. But they're on top of the ramp when they come out of and he's basically strangling Jimmy Uso at the top of the ramp. He's just hanging off of big old Braun. And they drop him as Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose run towards him. And, you know, Jimmy's dead. And they stand over his dead carcass as the spotlights are on three of them. I guess to add drama. But they're still looking for that third member. Who's it going to be? I don't know. I mean, I still speculate the Big Show. I mean, but he's kind of a heel. We'll see. Randy Orton's off TV. That spot last Monday was to write him off TV for a while. Maybe it's Heath Slater. Come on, Heath. Come on down, Heath. Hell yeah. Lucha Dragons versus the Ascension with Stardust. The Cosmic Wastelands. Oh, look, after getting their asses handed to them on fucking Raw and on SmackDown last week, oh, look who's with them. It's Stardust. And it's the Cosmic Wastelands. Like, they're not a bunch of fucking losers. Lucha Dragons is basically, and also wearing the worst outfits I think I've ever seen a tag team put on. I'm like, what the fuck are you thinking, guys? That looks hideous. But Stardust is out there, and the match is just going on and on and on. I guess if you watch NXT, the Lucha Dragons actually took the NXT tag belts off of the Ascension. So basically, that's gone. That's gone to the Cosmic Wastelands along with everything else. But there's a moment where Stardust gets on the apron, which causes a distraction. Connor hits the STO, which is like he kind of whips it's kind of a trip clothesline thing. He goes down pretty hard, which results into the fall of man, which is, when they clothesline sweep the motherfucker. And this is little old Kalisto, and he's dead. He's dead. He gets pinned. And then as the Ascension pick the bones along with Stardust, and they stomping a mud hole in his monkey ass, or dragon ass, Neville comes out for the save. We haven't seen Neville in a while. Welcome back, Neville! Neville! Welcome back, Neville! So maybe, just maybe, in a throwaway match on this Monday, or say going into Night of Champions, I guess that would make no sense. At some point, I guess we're going to see a 3-man tag with Neville and the Lucha Dragons with the Cosmic Wastelands. Whether it's next week, whether it's next Monday, whether it's next Thursday, or say even Night of Champions, I just say expect that shit to go down. I hope it's exciting. I strongly doubt it. You got Team Bella's walking in the back. Nikki Bella stopped by Renee Young, and she talks about nothing. Charlotte shows up, and they start talking. We get to the main event, which is Ryback versus Rollins, in a match that's so crazy, a feud that's so out of hand, champion versus champion, that is so out of fucking hand, that they actually have to do a lumberjack match on SmackDown in Mohegan Sun Arena. Picture that. All of that awesomeness. So the heels come out, the baby faces come out. That's the entire main event, superstars, all of them. You name it. Heath Slater, he's out there. Zack Ryder gets some airtime. All those guys. I think even Curtis Axel is even in that motherfucker. They all come out along with the Ascension and Stardust, and the Lucha Dragons all beat up. So yeah, I guess every man had to be out there, all hands on deck. And I don't know. I wasn't interested in the match on Monday, and I damn sure weren't interested in this match tonight, even if there was lumberjacks. And the first spot where I guess Ryback gets thrown out towards the baby faces, they don't touch him. Then he ends up outside on the heel side, and they stomp a mud hole in his monkey ass, right? All right, so what happens here? They're in the ring fighting. Again, I kind of tuned it out. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Big Show knocks out Mark Henry. This is around the end when the chaos ensues, right? Big Show, I guess Henry and them face off, but he just knocks out Mark Henry. They were once friends, man. That sucks. The Lumberjacks, what? Oh, the babyface Lumberjacks walks the Big Show out. And I guess he sort of uses himself as a distraction. The distraction roll up, we get the distraction beat down. He's getting walked up the ramp by the faces while the heels are stomping the shit out of Ryback. And then there's a moment where he turns into like Super Saiyan Ryback. And there's like maybe 8 dudes on him. And he's like, and they all go flying. Some funny shit, actually. While this shit's going down, I think, whatever. whatever, man. The faces, lumberjacks, they go in the ring, they start beating each other up, and then like you see like Cody Rhodes hit the fucking like crossroads on Ryback or whatever. The Lucha Dragons suicide dive onto the Ascension. You get Neville drop kicking Stardust, and then moonsault off the top buckle onto the hills outside the ring. And as you watch inside the ring, as the match continues with Ryback and Rollins, you see Kevin Owens just sitting right there at the corner, and just he hadn't taken part in none of these brawls, none of these babyface beatdowns, none of these heel beatdowns. He's like, I ain't got time for this shit, but I do have my eye on the prize. And as soon as I noticed him, I'm like, wait, what the fuck? I didn't even know he was out there. There's a moment where Rollins catches a meat hook, and as he's about to be put in the shell shock, Kevin Owens then decides to take part in this segment by grabbing Ryback by the ankles, snatching his ass while he has Seth Rollins in the shell shock. He falls flat on his face as Roman Reigns is on top of him. So, boom, Concussion City. He picks his ass up, puts him in the pedigree. 1, 2, 3, victory. As Booker T praises the victory by saying that he has to win at all costs. And that's how the show ends. Another night of SmackDown. I will say this, and it's not even that I'm tired, because I'm actually pretty tired. But that was probably one of the worst SmackDowns I've seen in a while. And I'll say this, normally SmackDown itself comes off a little bit better than Raw, but for some reason they dropped the ball on this one. And I'm not the one to complain. I'm not. It was just too many things that made me tune out. A lot of things that made me tune out. Wasn't a lot of utilization of a lot of the people in the proper way. Even with Cesaro, if you're gonna win with him, win. If you're gonna lose, then lose. There's no need to throw away a match with The Miz to make him tap out if you're not going to actually try to do something, right? I mean, when you think that on Night of Champions or maybe on Raw that the crowd would like to see The Miz get his comeuppance because he's an actual awesome heel, and a guy that has been shitted on can finally get a win on a fucking live Monday Night Raw on the biggest heel in the company, the most effective heel in the company. I think that would have been real nice. WWE, that would have been real nice of you to do. But you hand him the bones of SmackDown to get a quality victory. The Miz he's a former heavyweight champion. He headlined WrestleMania. He is a Grand Slam winner. He's held every belt in the WWE. It's a quality win. I mean, once you think about it, he has a win over Rusev that happened on SmackDown, but I guess it didn't happen. Now he has a victory over this guy, Miz, on SmackDown, on the taped SmackDown. And it'll never be mentioned ever again. I don't think. And he's going to show up on Raw, and The Miz is going to beat him. Good for Miz, because he'll just get more heel heat on everyone, how everyone loves, even me, loves Cesaro. But goddamn. Well, anyway, that's Peter Talks SmackDown. And if you made it this far, thank you so much. I want you to do a couple of things for me, though, before we sign out, before you hit that stop button, or allow this to just sort of run out. If you're on YouTube, if you're looking at all of this sexiness on the screen, see this finger? It's pointing down. It's not pointing at my junk. It's pointing at the subscribe button. Actually, if it was pointing at my junk, that would be pretty weird if you assumed that my finger all the way over here is pointing at my junk that's here, but it's over here, my finger that is. Hit the subscription button, man. Subscribe to the Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling YouTube page. On Tumblr, you can do the same thing. Just, if you're watching this on Tumblr, just that right there in the upper right or left corner, whatever one, you hit that little like follow thing. You can follow on Tumblr. If you're on iTunes, if you're on SoundCloud, if you're on Stitcher Radio, subscribe, add me to your favorites. Thumbs up, leave a comment, and hit that button that says share. I would really appreciate it. And with Peter Talks Smackdown also comes Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, the New Day podcast, Peter's specials, which are like commentaries, special commentaries of me talking about things, reviews on certain pay-per-views, and other podcasts and other types of shit like that. Or me just wanting to sort of talk shit. You also get live reactions, so on and so forth. Peter's Raw Recap, that is a YouTube exclusive thing. But yeah, share. As much you share, if you're a wrestling fan and you like my commentary, and people love you because you're a wrestling fan and they trust your judgment, hey man, check out the homie Peter. He's funny and he talks some good shit when it comes to wrestling. Share. You got good taste, they will follow your lead. Follow me on Twitter, PJTW Central. Again, that's PJTW Central. And that's it, man. I'm going to get the hell up out of here, get this thing loaded up to the computer and start to compress it. Again, I'm off to DJ. Happy Saturday. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. And while you're enjoying the rest of your weekend, don't get hit by those foreign objects. Look out for them. Bob and weave. Peace.